Hi everyone, I'm going to be showing you how to make this studded friendship bracelet, and it looks like this. I'm just wearing it even though it doesn't go with my outfit, but just to show you. Hopefully you can see this. I'll take it off if I can. Okay. And it looks just like this. Okay, so the things you'll need are some string, the stuff that you make friendship bracelets with, and I used green, blue, black, gray, and white, and you need 7 pieces, or 7 different colors, or just 7 pieces of string, and I'm going to be telling you how to measure it later on, but I usually just kind of guess because I don't really know exactly how much I usually need, so. And then you also need some of these jump rings, and I'm just using these 10mm ones, and there's like pieces of suede and stuff on it, so sorry about that. But you don't really need to use these kind of things. I'm just using it to make a clasp on it. If not, you can just like, you know, like how you normally have a friendship bracelet where you have just the loop and then you braid the ends when you're done. But I just wanted to make it with like the clasp and stuff. And then I have these lobster clasps. I can't talk. And they're just like these kind of things. And then you're going to need studs. And these are the only ones I could find. They're kind of big, but they're not. I mean, I think those are like the normal size ones, but I kind of wanted smaller ones. And then you need some tape. And you're going to need also some pliers. I just have like skinnier ones. And then these ones. And then you're going to need some scissors and also a clipboard. And I usually tape down the string instead of putting it on here because this indents it kind of, so I don't really like to do that. So if you want to know how to do these bracelets, then just keep watching. When you have your string, you just want to fold in half, whoops, so that there's the one end like that, and then the rest is just like the normal, like that. So after you have it folded in half, what you want to do is take, well, you don't have to do this if you don't want. You can just tie a knot here and then start doing the friendship bracelet, but what I'm going to do is take one of these little loop ring things, and this is I think like a 10mm one, I'm not sure, but what you want to do is then take it and put it through the loop thing like that, so it's through this, and then you just want to take the other end of the string and put it through the loop up here. So, like this. So, and then you just want to pull this through. So it's like this. And then you can just like pull it tighter. And then what you want to do is take both sides and make sure that you have the colors each on each side, like evenly. And then you want to just tie a knot, like a normal knot, where you just, you know, go like this. Whoops. Once you have it tied, you can just take a piece of tape and tape this down so that it won't move. And then you just want to decide what order you want the colors to be in, so have them organized in the color order you want. You start out with the left side first, and you take this very left string and you take this very left string and you put it over like this, over the next string next to it, the white one right here, and then you put it through. like that. And then you pull it. And then you do the same thing on that string again. So you make like a 4, like that. And then you put it underneath that white string and pull it through. And yeah, let me put this over so it's not distracting. And you do 2 stitches on each string. So you do this again over to the other string. So that's 1, 2, and then 1, 2, oops. So once you're done with that, you go over to the other side, and you can just put this over to the side so it doesn't get in the way. And you do the same thing, except that you're going to be making the 4s this way, so a backwards 4. Camera didn't film when I got to the center, so what you do is after you're done with the right side, you take the very middle 2 strings from each side, and you take the one on the right and you put it over, you cross it over like you were doing on this side before, like that. Oh wait, you probably can't see that. So you cross it over like that, and then you bring it underneath and through that, and you pull it like that. So you're just doing like the same kind of stitch that you were doing before on the right side, and you do it again. And then it'll bring this string that was on the right side over to the left side, so you switch them like that. And then you keep going and you start on the left side and you do all the stitches, so you do like 2 of the knots on each string and 2 of the knots on each string on this side, and then when you get to the middle you do the 2 knots on the very middle string where you go with this side first. When you get your bracelet to the length that you want it, what you want to do is take both sides and just tie a knot like this. Is take another one of these little ring things and thread it onto one side like that, and then you want to just tie another knot. Then you can tie another knot just to make sure that it stays. What you want to do is take some pliers and open the little ring. I'm going to be putting on one of these little clasp things. And then you just want to close this with the pliers. Trim the ends. To add the studs, you can add them like all the way, like over the whole entire thing, but I'm just going to put like 4 of them in the center. And what you do is just like put them out to see where you want them, and then I like to take them where it's this way, like the 2 ends, it's going to be in the center like that, not this way. I like to do it this way. So then you want to just stick it into the bracelet, but don't get your fingers. So you stick it on into the bracelet like that, and then on the back just make sure it's pushed all the way through. And then what you want to do is you have to push these things down, so they're not like, these ones are kind of harder to push down, so you can't really use your fingers for it, but I like to take a piece of paper on the back just to protect the stud so I don't scratch it, and then take some pliers, and then you want to just bend them down. And then I got the other side down, and you want to make sure these are really pushed down in there good, just so that it won't be scratching your skin when you're wearing the bracelet. So there's 2 studs on there so far, and then I'm just going to add the rest of them. And once you add the studs, you're done, and this is what it looks like.